Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta sa inyong lahat? Every Gotcha fan knows the feeling. One moment, you're riding high with your favorite carry unit, and the next, a trailer drops. Flashy, cinematic, dramatic, and suddenly the entire community is in meltdown mode. The word power creep starts trending faster than the patch notes can load. And honestly, sometimes that panic is more than just drama. It is kinda justified. Now, before you leap to chuck virtual tomatoes, let's be clear about what we mean. Power creep isn't just a new character hitting harder than the last. It's when the shiny new update turns yesterday's heroes into support NPCs. And that kinda stings. It's felt by everyone who pulled for them, invested in them, and proudly used them to clear content, only to get flattened by a new unit with higher numbers, smoother animations, and probably a gimmicky pet that does some kind of coordinated attack. But here's the catch. Wuthering Waves doesn't quite fit into the traditional power creep doom spiral. Not yet. For every player yelling that their precious Calcharo got benched by Shang Liao, there's another running the same character since day one and is still clearing content. It's weirdly balanced in a power creep but with nuance kind of way. Sure, newer units like Zani are tailor-made to slot into synergies and break DPS meters. But older characters, they aren't obsolete. Jian can still punch his way through whimpering waste like he owns the place. Even the game's first limited 5-star holds up surprisingly well, and that's a rare thing in Gacha. In Wuthering Waves, it feels less like brute force power creep and more like a shift in power strategy. The developers aren't just inflating HP pools or turning every enemy encounter into a stopwatch challenge. Instead, they're crafting characters to fit tightly defined roles. One might excel at AoE mob clearance, another thrives in single target boss fights. It's less about replacing characters outright and more about expanding tactical flexibility. Sure, Shang Liao might edge out Calcharo in a DPS spreadsheet showdown, but unless you're clearing Tower of Adversity in record time, Calcharo still slaps. His toolkit remains effective, his animations still satisfying, and his gameplay flow is smooth enough to keep him relevant even in today's meta. Power shifts, yes, but power erasure, not quite. But then there are moments when the shift in power isn't subtle at all. It's a clean, unapologetic takeover. Shang Liao didn't just outperform Calcharo, he walked in, took his job, and left his dramatic slow-mo intro as the only thing worth remembering. It wasn't a nuanced upgrade, it was a full-spectrum no-contest replacement. Better animations, smoother gameplay, more consistent output, all the while being free. And that's when even the most optimistic players start side-eyeing the patch notes. Watching your former favorite get effortlessly benched by a newer zero-cost unit doesn't just sting, it challenges your entire sense of value in the game. And then you see people arguing that Zani has power crept Jinshi. And honestly, that argument falls apart the moment you look at the actual performance. Jinshi still nukes everything in a 10-mile radius without even trying. She doesn't have a custom-built sub-DPS like Zani does, yet she consistently vaporizes bosses with nothing but pure, unfiltered incandescence energy. The fact that she can hold her own, no, dominate, without tailored support shows just how cracked she truly is. Zani might come with all the synergy bells and whistles, but Jinshi, she's the entire concerto. And then we have the case of Cartethyia and Jian. I recently pulled Jian's best in slot weapon, the last puzzle piece to turn him into a full-fledged Gigachat. And with it, he was comfortably 3-starring the Tower of Adversity and WuWa like it's just casual content. So yeah, I was so proud of myself for finally completing his build after almost a year. That is, until cartethyia dropped in like an uninvited boss fight, dragging Shakona along for the ride and effortlessly smashing Gian's best time to bits. And my cartethyia isn't even fully built yet. She doesn't have her best fit weapon, and she's already out damaging my fully optimized Gian. The difference? Synergy. Gian has no go-to, tailor-made sub-DPS, while Cartethyia comes with a perfect match in Shakona, who not only buffs her damage, but doubles as a legitimate erosion DPS threat on her own. It's like bringing a bazooka to a fist fight, and suddenly, your dragon-punching hero feels like he's flailing in slow motion. If anything, these comparisons show how perception warps the conversation. The newest character always seems better because they were designed to look and feel that way. For example, enemies that are tailor-fit to fit their kit, or in Tower of Adversity, stages that reward their mechanics. So technically, in terms of numbers, perhaps power creep doesn't exist yet, but somehow it feels like it. The way I can only explain it is through how animation and damage are being deployed. Newer Resonators are faster and smoother in terms of animation and gameplay, for example. You can see the difference with Cartethia's team, just how smooth she and Shakona is until Rover comes in and he feels kinda like dragging it. As for damage, newer units do more hits compared to older units, and especially with negative status effects like erosion and frazzle that deal damage over time. And then we get to the real meta-defining shift, waifu power creep. Because let's be honest, Wuthering Waves character design have been escalating faster than the damage numbers. First, there was Chang-Li with her sultry smirk, elegant fire motifs, and the kind of wardrobe that suggests both danger and distraction. Then the shorekeeper entered the scene practically wearing a swimsuit and a sneer. And then Carlotta followed, dual-wielding shotguns and sass seemingly storing both in places the camera dares not linger too long. Then came Cantarella, who didn't just push boundaries, she obliterated them, setting new records in anatomical fan service with physics-defying audacity. Zani and Shakona raised the bar yet again, balancing killer kits with mesmerizing voices and model-tier faces. And now, Cartethyia struts in like the final boss of aesthetic dominance, blending elegance, menace, and just enough skin to make enemies fold before the first combo even lands. It's no longer just about damage. It's about the psychological warfare of overwhelming beauty. The real DPS? It's really in the design. Okay, just jokes. But that doesn't mean the community won't panic every time a new unit drops with flashier numbers and better scaling. But panic is part of the ritual at this point. New banner? Panic. New kit? Panic. Slight numerical increase in basic attack? Mass hysteria. So what's the final word? Is Wuthering Waves suffering from power creep? Yes, but not categorically. Not yet. It's a high wire act, and for the moment, Guru Games is maintaining its balance with surprising grace. The power curve is rising, sure, but it hasn't flattened anyone vital just yet. As long as dungeon mains can still solo their way through endgame content like a one-man orchestra, and as long as debates over Calcharo's viability continues to light up comment section like it's a national sport, we're not in the danger zone just yet. We're teetering, but we're not tumbling. But if HP inflation starts creeping in, oh boy, then things could get real dicey. Suddenly, your strongest characters might start feeling underwhelming against bosses with level 200 health bars that just won't go down easily. We still don't know exactly how the devs will implement this or how much tougher content will become. Maybe older units will hang in there with the right builds, or maybe they'll struggle to keep up. That uncertainty is the scary part, because if future enemies turn into unkillable walls, then even your favorite characters might get pushed aside by newer, more efficient ones. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.